Well, hello all you wonderful people. I'm at Greenbo. Today is the third or fourth day since trout have been released. They did 2,000 browns and 5,500 rainbows. So it is November the 2nd, I believe. So if you're in the Greenbo area, just know there's trout in the lake. Don't know what I'll catch today, but I also have put on a glide bait. Looks kind of like a rainbow trout, and then a little jerk bait with some kind of trout color. So I'm gonna throw those a little bit too, just to see. If you watch Tyler's channel called On Another Line, you have seen him catch bass out of Greenbo using rainbow trout type jerk baits. So I'm gonna try that today too, just for a little bit, just to see what happens, but mostly I'll be trolling. So got the boat all set up. I think this is maybe the second time I've gone out with the boat kind of pimped out like I want it. So I'm excited, so let's get on the water and see what I catch. Well, according to one of those boats out there, there's a bunch of trout just laying right in here, so I thought, why not throw a little twisty tail at them real quick. Oh, there's one right there. Oh, there they are. Okay, I see several actually. Now that's when you wish you had your fly rod. There's a school of them right there. See if anyone wants to bite. Nope. All right, I just went over a group here. Let's see what may or may not happen. I don't know. That's about my trolling speed for my kayak, about a little over 2.5 miles an hour. So let's see. Oh, you know what? Didn't have my motor trimmed. I'm noticing disturbance there on the small cone, and my motor wasn't trimmed all the way down. I forget that sometimes, but that's just part of getting used to the boat. And I've not been out on the boat since October the 5th. It's like, good Lord, whole month. But we've been busy, bad weather, all kinds of stuff. So my goal is to get out at least twice a month, maybe more. Just have to wait and see what happens. Well, my camera's not working and just had a fish hit. God bless America. Never fails. He's on there. All right. It's a good hit too. See if it's gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I got a fish on. Didn't take long at all. Nice. And I'm going to use my aerator today. Something I haven't even used yet. So let's get this guy in the boat. Oh shoot, if I can net him. There we go. Cool. On that Rapala, little countdown Rapala. Using everything here. Now let's try I'm gonna put this aerator on. Never used it before. Thought it'd be a good time to try it. You got to put this little, see, I've not been running the thing, there's water in it. So I've had some people ask me if I put anything in here. The answer is no. I don't know, I guess when you're running, it just naturally fills up. So let's turn on the aerator. How cool is that? See, I've never used it before. Get this fella out of here. Says on that little countdown Rapala. There he goes. Ooh, not a good hook. That's okay though. I'd rather him bleed out anyway. I don't know how that happened, but we're gonna run the aerator. Let's see how that does. Pretty cool. I don't keep many fish. The few I do keep would be trout and crappie, and maybe someday some walleye or something like that. I don't know. Of course, I've got a no snag net, and I guess what, I'm snagging the. All right, really liking my. There goes the water over the top there. So looking good so far. Close that up and get this back out and see what happens. But my my setup is great. I just get this stupid camera up here to work, I'll be all right. All right, let's see if I can get this to finally work here. Get some trolling camera action going. But how cool was that? I'm doing a little over 2 miles an hour. Got that countdown Rapala on that side and the gulp 1/8 ounce jig head on that side. It's a 2-inch gulp. I just had hit on that side. There's a huge school right down below me. Let's see if anybody happens to. Shoot, well, too late now. There's a bunch of them back there. I may come back over here. That was a huge amount of trout. Kind of thought getting away from the boat dock would be a good idea. And I'm doing 2.7 miles an hour. Just had a hit on the gulp. I missed him. It's kind of weird being out here not pedaling. Yeah, I dress fairly warm. I've got my long johns on and kind of need them. If I'm not in the sun, definitely need them. Got a hit. Oh, stay on. That's 2 hits there. Boom, boom. They're liking the Rapala. I may need to go to 2 of those. Just wanted to see what would happen with one of each. And I've had a hit over here on the gulp, so I've got another. It's like a little countdown. You know what? If I don't get any more bites on this side here, going down here, I'm gonna put that on. It's a little flat metal base, got a very tight wiggle, and there are silver sides in this lake, and so it would look like a silver side. So that's gonna be my next bait to try. All right, I just went over a group there at about 20 feet. So let's see if anything bites from that. This water is crystal clear right now. They're definitely chasing the minnows. And last year, some of the bigger ones I caught, their bellies were full of little silver sides. There's a bunch right in here. All right, the bait I'm talking about, and I don't know what it's called. I forgot now where I even found them. But it's steel shad, I believe is what it's called. And like I said, there are silver sides in here, and this is I think it's 1/8 of an ounce, so it's going to run pretty deep. And what I'm seeing, a lot of it's down deep. So I've got on a stainless steel swivel, which will also give a little bit of a silver color. I don't usually fish swivels, but I'm afraid this thing might have a little bit of a twist to it. So, but it's supposed to have a real nice little tight shimmy. So I'm going to troll this thing for a little bit along with the Rapala and see what happens. That might be an eagle right there. It's not a hawk and it's not a buzzard. It's a big bird. Doesn't have the white head though. How cool is that? I'm not sure what that is. There's a bunch of them showing up here on sonar. I can see that or not. Just a ton of them down in through here now. Looks like those might be bass and those might be trout. I'm not sure. But man, there's a big stack of them down there at about 25 feet. I have no idea what this stuff is. There's a bunch of them down there though. I'm down by the dam right now. Oh, and there's fish. On the Rapala. Yeah, I saw a bunch of them down there. Maybe a Rapala kind of day. This looks like a crappie. Ah, he's a little fella. Barely hooked him. I'm gonna let him go. He's not very big and he is barely hooked. Alright, let's just let you go, big boy. I'm not gonna touch him. He's just not very big. There you go. Untouched. He should be. There he goes, down the bottom. Cool. Alright. Well, there's another one in the boat. But he was pretty little. Looks like it's a Rapala kind of day. I may need to put on a Rapala on both of them. Got some marks down there around 20 feet, 20, 25 feet. And I'm right into the sun, of course. Yeehaw. That's screen. You can see down in there. I think y'all can see that. Then this is middle way between the dam and going back toward Pruitt's Cove, and there's several big schools, and I'm sure those are trout. Might be crappie, but I'm guessing trout. But I hope you can see that right there. That's what I'm seeing on the wider scope. Yeah, right around 15 to 30 feet. And you got to remember, my transducer is at the back of the boat, so everything I'm seeing, when I'm sitting here, I've already gone over everything I'm seeing right now, which is hard to kind of get your mind wrapped around. But yeah, there's another big group right here. I'm going to keep the cameras rolling. See those right there? Big old group. I'm going to try this. It's called the brook trout pattern. Now this is a 2.5 inch, so a little bit bigger profile. I'm going to put it on swivel. I usually don't do this, but you know, it is what it is today. Usually I tie direct, and let's just put on a little more colorful Rapala and see what that does. And let's keep trolling. All right, I'm going to throw something I've never thrown before. One of these segmented, I think it's a segmented glide bait. Let's just see if anybody wants to bite out here that's bigger than a trout. Looks really good in the water. I can see this being a good bait out here. Looks really good in the water. All right, a little bit more of the swim bait, then I'm going to go back to trolling. So I've had a few questions about my initial impressions on the boat. So I thought, you know, I'm out here today. I've not caught a whole lot. So I thought, you know, I'd kind of give you some of my initial impressions of the boat. I fished in it, I mean, not a ton yet, but I fished in it some. Overall, I love the boat, but you got to remember, I'm coming from a pedal powered kayak. So this has been a whole new world for me, and I'm loving every minute of it. Now, you know, I've made some modifications, and the modifications are great so far. Up front here, you know, I've added rod holders that I basically, these came literally from a kayak that I had a new hull come in shipped because it had a crack in it. So these two tracks are from an Old Town kayak that I had to scrap, which they're great. So I've got my two rod holders also from my kayak. That ram boom arm is from my kayak. Now, the thing I did with the trolling motor is I downgraded the big motor back here from a 40. It was supposed to go down to a 20, but I got lucky and the 20s were all on back order, so I actually got a 25. Now that 25 does 21 miles an hour. I've had it over 22 with the wind behind me down current in the Ohio River, but I would say 21's about max for the motor so far anyway. Some folks, that's way too slow, but I'm used to doing about 2.5 miles an hour, so that is by far fine for me. This boat is fun to drive. Now you do get some spray when you're driving the boat. You may get some spray on you, especially if it's a little bit choppy. You know, I noticed, like when my wife and I were in the boat and she was in the back, I was in the front, as we were driving, we took it to the river, there was definitely some splash that came up with the wind. In a regular boat that has the steering toward the back, I don't know if that's the same, but overall, love the boat. Now, sitting down low in the boat and getting in and out of the boat might be a little bit of a challenge. Maybe not. It depends on how athletic you are. But when I step on the front up here, there is some give in the boat, but not that much. I don't feel unstable, but it's a little bit there. So that's something to think about. You know, the area. Let me stand up here. This area in here, it's pretty tight. I mean, you know, I got my chair, of course. Now, this is a chair that I took that stupid lock off of. And see right there, it catches on the very back. That's the only place it catches. But when you get the boat, if you haven't seen that video, there is actually a lock that you have to move every time. It's still on the back one back there. But you can see my modifications. I've got my rod holders on both sides, and these are basically, I got them like a double pack for about 20 bucks off Amazon. I put on a net holder. You need to make modifications. I've got basically a trash cup with trash in it. And again, this is just another kayak track, and my, you know, both of them on the back there. I have two more to install. You know, but the boat's pretty tight. Now with these rods in here, you know, you're not gonna be walking back and forth a whole lot, but I can make it back through there. The back end of the boat, of course, somebody's fishing there. This would be not much room for gear. To me, you know, again, I love the boat for what I want it to do. It's been perfect. But for someone who's wanting to take out, say, 2 or 3 grandkids, or maybe their wife and a couple grandkids, I'll be honest with you, I think this boat would not be a really good fit. Because to me, this is basically maybe 2 grandkids, because you could put one on the back seat, one in the middle, no rod holders obviously, which would be okay. You'd probably be fishing for bluegill or something. Or if you wanted to have just 2 guys or 2 gals, or a guy and a gal, whatever, fishing back and fishing front, that would be okay. But much more than that, I mean, it's only rated for 4 people, and I think just a little over 500 pounds. So you put 2 big dudes like me in here, you're at weight. But overall, I've loved the boat. You know, would I recommend it? Depends on what you want. You know, some folks want to have, you know, I think they want a party barge. When they realize when you buy one of these trackers, it ain't that. It is a small boat. This is, you know, this is really for me a fishing boat. It's not a party barge. You're not gonna take a bunch of people out on it and go boat riding in it. It's made for fishing, which is exactly what I wanted. I would highly recommend getting a better trolling motor. You know, this Tarova, and I will do a breakdown of that too, is awesome. It's got spot lock, it has drift mode, it has track mode. You know, it's exactly what I wanted. You know, this boat comes with a trolling motor, but best I know it goes forward and backwards and neutral. That's all it does. So this thing with spot lock on it and the drift mode, both, I've used both of those, especially in the river. It's been awesome. So I would highly recommend upgrading the trolling motor. And then, oh, another thing I've added, you know, this little, you know, part right here, because when you get the boat, it's bare. There's nothing hardly there. These are your gauges here, or your gauges. These are your switches. Another thing I don't like about it, there are no gauges, so I'm having to keep a, you know, a journal of the hours I'm spending with the motor going. Like I've done it about an hour today, so that puts me almost to my 10 hours. Well, let's see what else I've done here. I guess that's all. You know, there's a rod holder here. I've got my tackle in this one over here. There is storage under both seats. I haven't used them much, and the best I can tell, this aerator, when you're moving in the boat, you know, I've got that trout in there now. Of course, he's dead, but that thing fills up with water. Now I don't know how to make it not do that. Maybe I'm missing something. You know, it's working fine. I've never run it before, so I want to do it today. I figured hoped I'd catch a few fish and I could run it. So you've got the aerator and the live well with the aerator working just fine. Trying to think what else I could think about. Oh, I've got the fire extinguisher mounted back there. So like I said, for what I want, this boat is perfect. It's not a party barge, not a bass boat either. I mean, this to me is just a hardcore fishing boat. It's the thing I liked about it, because I watched videos about these boats and did research for probably over 6 months on them, just watching them, trying to figure them out. And it's the closest thing I could get to a kayak. It was a boat, because I'm sitting down low in the boat. Really have like drive. It's fun to drive. If you've never driven and this got the stick steer over here. If you've never driven a stick steer boat, one guy commented it's like the boat, like a swamp boat or a river boat. And that's exactly what it is, I guess. And I think the 2025 year was the first year Tracker brought them out in about since 2018. So you won't find many of them used right now. But anyway, I thought I'd do a quick rundown. I guess pros, it's to me a great fishing platform. Now that I've got all my accessories added to it, I love it. It's tight. I like the compactness of it because it reminds me of fishing out of a kayak. Some of you may not like that. You may want the more open deck where you can walk around like on a bass boat. I've not stood up there. I asked the guy, I said, is that a casting platform? He goes, well, if you stand on it and cast, it is. I thought, okay. But I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't feel real stable up there. I mean, if you're using a trolling motor and you went one way or the other, you'd fall off pretty easy. But overall, I say I really like the boat. To me, the biggest cons are, again, the size. You're really talking no more than two adults in here fishing. It is pretty tight, so there's not a whole lot of room to get up and move around. You know, some people would want a faster motor. That 25 is fine for me. I don't need anything about the motor. I really like the motor. But I guess the other thing is it's just a bare boat. There's no gauges. I don't like not having gauges. I'd love to have a fuel gauge. I'd love to have a engine hour gauge, that kind of stuff, but there's none of that. And I'm trying to think of anything else. Other than that, you know, the storage is so-so. I mean, I can get 6 rods. I can get 6 rods in the rod box, but you know, I'm having to fit them in pretty tight. Now, putting these rod holders on was awesome. That was a big upgrade that I needed. And the net holder. If you don't have a place to put your equipment in this boat, especially, you're going to feel jammed up. I had rods laying here, laying there. So that would be, I guess, another downside is you really do need to accessorize this boat more than what it comes with. But and I have a video on that too, and kind of what I spent there. It wasn't a whole lot, but a lot of it I was able to scavenge off of my kayak, so that made it good too. I guess I'll stop for now. I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a rundown about what I like about the boat, what I don't like about the boat. I've had that question come up a few times, and if you have specific questions about the boat, just hit me up in comments and I'll be happy to answer them. Well, I'm going to troll with the trolling motor now, because there's one lake here in my area that I won't be able to use my gas-powered motor on. Well, more than one actually, but I'm just kind of curious. I've never used the trolling motor to actually troll. It's kind of funny, and I'm trying to see what speeds it's going to take to get me up and moving, and I'm on 5 right now. So I'm going to basically troll into the dock. I'll go down a ways and troll back a little bit here and there. I'm trolling 2 Rapalas, but I thought I would just try with the trolling motor, because there's a lake called Beach Fork Lake in oh Lord, oh, there's a hit already. Well, there you go. I'm only doing 1.7 miles an hour. Let me go up a little bit higher here. So it takes 6 to get to 2 miles an hour. Let me go ahead and reel this back in real quick. That was a nice hit. No, it's loose. All right. That was again on that 2-inch profile Rapala. And this remote is awesome. Okay, I'm on 6 and I'm doing about 2 miles an hour. I just wonder how long my batteries would last doing this. I have no idea. All right. I keep wanting to steer with the steering wheel or the steering stick. Let's go up 6.5. Oh, there's a hit there. They're hitting short, but they're hitting. Yeah, at 6.5, I'm doing 2.2 miles an hour. So let me turn the top camera off and let me turn on the trolling camera. All right, so 6.5 on the speed is 2.2 miles an hour, and that's actually kind of a low speed for me trolling on my kayak, but that's about right. Well, usually what I would do is about 2 to 2.5. And I'm kind of curious how long this trolling motor will do that. It is 5 o'clock, so I'm going to run this for a while and just kind of test the limits of the trolling motor. Oh, and there's fish. Yes. Oh, jumpy. Cool. Feels like a nice one. This is on my ultralight though, so who knows. That's a nice one. Beat all up. These are the ones just coming out of the truck. All right, well, let's put him in the aerator. Oh, hello there. He's lively. All right, let's get back out. See what we can do. Cool. And that was with the trolling motor. And that was on the brook trout pattern Rapala. That was a 2.5-inch countdown. These are both sinking, the ones I have on. All right, well, let's get her started again. I've had hits on both sides here after I got it restarted, and I'm on 7, which is about 2.2 almost 2.4 miles an hour, and that's just about my kayak trolling speed. So I'm really curious how long the batteries will hold up with the motor doing the speed. Because if I go to Beach Fork, that's all I can use is my trolling motor. It kind of sucks. I wish they'd let you use your idle, like Greenbo is idle speed only. I wish that's what they do on Beach Fork. This is a smaller lake than Beach Fork. There's no reason they can't do it. They have a 9-horse motor limit on there, so it's like, surely idle speed would be fine, but you know. They don't ask me, so I just go along with what the rules are. Let's make a loop and go back now. Got 2. And I felt like, say, I was sitting here and I had 2 or 3 hits, all short strikes, nothing that I caught. It's all right. Sun's going down. It's starting to get a little bit cool. It is 5:07, which and there's a fish. Yeah, man. Ooh. This is again on that brook trout pattern Rapala. Good deal. Feels like a pretty good one. Oh, a jumper. Nice. All right. Thank you, bub. Oh, there you go. That's why you should net them, but get him in the boat, I'm okay. All right. Let's get him in the aerator, or the live well, and try it again. All right. Stop. Okay. Good deal. Well, that's why you come. All right, well, let's try it again here. All right, let's get set back up here again. And I'm still trying to figure out my cameras and stuff too. Like I said, I've got this RAM mount that I can use for trolling, and then I've got the hat cam, which you know, it's not super comfortable. It's okay, but not super comfortable. I've got to figure out some kind of camera I can mount somewhere behind me, and I may put a track back here so I can put a camera mount back here. And that way when I'm fishing this way I can be, you know, get footage in front of me. Well, the trout are active. It's that time of night. It's 5:11 and we had the time change last night, so I'm going to run out of light real fast. So I'm basically trolling back in toward the boat dock. All right. My gloves are back there. I need them, but I'm not going to get them. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty cool. I'm used to pedaling my way home. Now I'm just riding. The one hard part about trolling this time of year are leaves. And there's still leaves on the trees. They haven't even fallen yet. We hadn't really had any cold nights. I mean, we've had some a little bit. But other thing I like about my little storage area, I've got my batteries for the cameras and my phones right there. Oh, there's another fish. Heck yeah, man. This is on the silver now this time. This is on the silver. After that last one flipped off, I'm going to use my net here. That's a pretty rainbow. That looks like a holdover there. All right, dude. Of course, he hooked the net right off the bat. Use my handy dandy rod holder right here. That's why I did it. I don't know. That's a beautiful fish. Shoot. Chill out, dudes. Oh, he's loose. Good deal. All right, they're in the live well. Pretty cool. Well, I have to say, the first trolling adventure of the boat's career has been pretty good, and may just be the trolling motor is the key. Not having that big motor making all the noise. I don't know. Good Lord. Again, these are supposed to be non-snag nets, and it's amazing how quickly I can get these freaking things snagged. All right, back in the net holder. Like I say, the accessories I've added make this thing a lot like a kayak, and it's been awesome. Let's get back to trolling. Cool. I can go ahead and say, you know, I got to do a lot of things I wanted to do today. I should have brought my fly rod. I'll remember that next time. I'll be back out here soon. And it's been a fun day. I've caught some trout. I got to try that swim bait, glide bait. It looks great. Now, I didn't catch anything, but it looks great. And you know, like I said, I'm just learning this boat more and more. I can tell you right now, I love the way that I love the things I've added. The accessories I've added to this thing are working great. Makes this a very, very nice fishing platform. And you know, just going on my journey here. Love this remote control for the Tarova trolling motor. You know, like I say, the things I've done, I really am happy with. So if you like this kind of content, I'd ask you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There'll be a lot more to come. You know, I'm just getting started with the boat. I still have my kayak that I'll have out, probably not any this year, but later next year, or sometime next year, I suppose. And I'll just say thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.